We are very happy to have your deliberations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Right now we can start, sir. Okay.
Respected Chair, participants, at the outset, I would like to thank the Voice of Teachers, particularly for taking up a very significant topic and also for giving me an opportunity to present this paper. This is the title of my paper. We all know that the online pedagogy following the COVID-19 is giving a lot of stress, and I have been observing students, teachers, and so on, and I've begun to doubt whether it is some kind of a child abuse. It is something I've really observed, interviewed people, and come up with this. That is why I thought of presenting it here now. Okay, I'll tell you something about the background of the study, the problem, the objectives, the method, and two case studies which I'll be referring to, the findings, and of course the implications of the study. Okay. Now, when the schools were shut, for almost 1 year we had online learning. What happened to the children? They were missing their friends, no activity. There are teachers who used to care for them. They are not connected with them. Now, the entire school curriculum was taught to the virtual mode, okay, for one academic year. What is important, neither the teachers nor the students are familiar with this process. Okay, so naturally what happens, learning will be affected. What is the problem I notice? In India, unequal access, unoptimized software for mobile devices. These were not suitable for online pedagogy. Okay, digital divide, we know it exists. And more importantly, in the shut off from students, from friends, everyone, the social skill we expect to develop in school was deeply affected. And if you remember, if you can recall, recently the CBSE introduced the midterm public examination on the MCQ type. Just not just the final exam then. So what happened? Parents were all frustrated. How will my children do? They immediately admitted them for coaching, for online coaching, for multiple choice questions. They induced tuition and so on. Okay, so the objective is to identify the impressions of teachers regarding online pedagogy. Secondly, to find out how parents perceive learning online by their own boards. And finally, how it affected or impacted the growth of children. These are three objectives I have tried to explore. And for the method, data was collected through informal interviews with students, teachers, parents. I reviewed two main case studies. And then this data was then matched with the expert opinion of neuroscientists on brain development. Okay, so case study number one. Is a girl is in standard 10. Earlier she was in standard 9. She has a neighbor. They used to play together in the evenings, share everything under the sun, talk and so on. But when the COVID struck, this particular girl, her parents were working from home. Her grandmother couldn't take the preventive medicine, that is, and so the parents were afraid there were many COVID deaths. She was not allowed to go out of the house. She was shut up. And after almost 1 year, her neighbor with whom she played, she couldn't meet. Then after 1 year, the neighbor secured a grade because she had just completed standard 10 and moved on. But what happened, even after getting A+, she did not get admission in any school. In Kerala, 5,000 A+ students are there, they have not got admission. So naturally, the parents started panicking. Immediately, they joined several courses. It means morning 4 hours online class, then tuition class for 2 hours, then special coaching by the school and the tuition teacher for multiple choice questions. It means the number of hours spent on screen time was terrible. Now, what did they suddenly notice? Temper tantrums in this girl, dislike of homemade food. Her sleep cut down, moved from 6 to 11 hours, lack of concentration, forgetfulness, body ache. Then she started saying, I'm not interested in studies. Now parents were worried. They wanted to take her to a psychologist. But you know what happens when somebody takes a girl to a psychologist? So they're afraid to go out. This is case study number one. Now, case study number 2, most schools, they employed the assistance of a counselor. But the counselor used to say the importance of vaccine and so on. And then finally, one day the counselor said, write a letter to your best friend. And I had access to that letter. Now, I'm going to read it out. What the girl says. The online classes made me lazy. Earlier, I used to get up at 6 o'clock. Now I wake up only at 8 a.m. These days I walk or do anything, I soon get tired. I feel sleepy most of the time. I can't understand. In school we used to spend 8 hours, but just 4 hours of online classes make me tired. How the online youth festival lacked the fun. Online exams are not interesting. How I miss climbing the long stairs, eating sandwich and puffs from the school store, and of course the scolding we get from our teachers. I learned to do practical work, but this year also we are going to miss it. So you see, two case studies that tell you the problems which are conveniently forgetting because it is compelled online pedagogy. Okay, mental health studies, what the American Psychological Association says, mental health and violations of rights is similar to violations of rights of the child. Okay, and in fact, compelled online pedagogy is a kind of restriction of the rights of the child. She's not allowed to mix. There's a lot of problems. In fact, all the presentations we had in the morning referred to how online pedagogy, particularly of our own chairperson today, how many things she referred to, and you can find that all these are bordering on child abuse. And neuroscientists, this is what they have to say. Being social beings, social isolation is always perceived by the brain as a threat, and prolonged social isolation can negatively affect physical and mental health. Okay, this is what a neuroscientist. Here's another one. Children require nurturing adults. Even in the previous presentation, the clinical psychologist, she also mentioned that, who attend to the physical and emotional social needs. Every child, you remember she said, every child needs somebody to feel that that person is there to take care of me. Adverse circumstances can impair proper development, brain development. So these two studies, suddenly you see the situation is so grim. Now, there are, of course, limitations because I refer to very few studies, and not only that, this is an evolving area of research, and even my sample I know is very small, so you can't completely easily generalize it. So what are the implications of my study? Now everyone is trying to redesign the curriculum, and they're going to introduce new course books to match it. But remember, you're going to teach in the virtual mode. Look at needs of the children. Let them also enjoy. Children basically love gregarious life. They love to play games, enjoy. What kind of learning is happening? It is a kind of torture. Let us put an end to this. Let us consider this when you are refining your curriculum. These are some of the references. You'll get a fairly good idea when you read the complete paper. Okay, so thank you so much. I'm ready to answer any question you would like to ask. I'm stopping sharing my.
Yes, I just wanted to say that the paper
Recording
is open
stopped.
for the discussion. Sir, you really put a light on what are the different research areas that is in front of all the teachers. This online compelled online pedagogy is actually putting lots of stress on children.
Better, you had highlighted all these in your paper, everything. When I was listening to your paper, the whole thing. What I
you know what happened? My daughter, she is 3.5 years old. Now I was thinking like, I will not put her in the online teaching for her nursery classes. But then too, what I feel is I was busy with this online classes and all. I thought like, okay, she will be engaged with some activity. Now, when I put for her in for this online classes, what is happening is she don't want to sit in the class.
Exactly.
At least for 20 minutes also she is not sitting. Yeah. Now the nursery teacher, when she is asking her like, this is door, this is window and all, when she is repeating some words for her that phonetics and all, what she is doing, she is showing her teddy and showing this is teddy. Yeah. And this is, now see, the thing is, she wanted to, do in the way she wanted to. She is not listening to the instructions and all what the teachers are telling. Now she is just 3.5 years. How yes. She is going to follow all that?
Exactly. These are things teachers are forgetting. Yeah. Educationists are ignoring. because
Yeah.
of the
So
necessity.
whatever things they planned, they wanted to do along with that only.
Yes, yes.
So they don't want to go away from that. That is the thing that is happening, sir.
That is why I may say it's a kind of child abuse. So,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. There any questions I would like to answer? Any questions? Participants? Okay.
So that's your presentation is so clear, and it is actually giving an insight for them. Like the future projects doors are also open. What are the things they can do? Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much.